Hi, this is Brian Haynes with ClickLikeThis.com. In today's tutorial, we're going to be creating a GoPro time-lapse of the tide coming in off of the Bay of Fundy in Wolfville, Nova Scotia. We'll be creating it in GoPro Studio. Let's get started. We're now inside of GoPro Studio, and to begin, we simply go to Import New Files, and so you can see here I'm at the images. We're going to just hit Control A, and that'll select all of my images and say open. And okay, good. So here we have just a basic time lapse. You can see it's a minute 21 seconds. If I press play, you can see it's going. It is slow and pretty boring. It's playing back at 30 frames a second. So what we're going to do is, okay, you can see here the frame rate is 30 frames a second. So I'm going to leave it at that for now. In step 2, we're going to adjust it. So we're just going to make it not such a large file, down to 1440, 30 frames a second. We're going to leave it at speed up, not as an option, deflicker on, and file format AVI. So with that, we're going to hit OK, and simply just going to give it a unique name here. So the file, it takes the first name of the image, and I'll just add tides to it. So add clip to conversion list, and then hit convert all. So as you can see at the top, there's a view and trim step with step number 1, step 2 is edit, and step 3 is export. So we're just going to pause the video here while it does the processing, because it's going to take a minute or two, and I'll be back in a second. Okay, so as you can see, the video clip has now been converted. It took about 18 minutes, which is significant, but it was 2,400 videos, rather 2,400 still images. So now we have a clip that's 1 minute 21 seconds long. You can see. I should mention one thing before you output it. It's good to check down here where it says save to and determine the file folder that you're saving it to. At least take note of it so that you can find the clip in the future. Also, I want to mention that this was shot with a Hero 4 Black at 7 megapixels with 1 image every 2 seconds, or 30 seconds, rather 30 images per minute. Good. So now what you do once the clip is created, you can see here, we're going to go up to step 2 and edit. And so now you can choose a template. In this case, I'm not going to use a template. I'm just going to create my own. So you can see it automatically pulls in the AVI file, the clip that was created. You can see it's 1920 by 1440 at 30 frames a second. So simply just click it and drag it down into the timeline. And this is where we're going to arrange the speeds and some of the editing. So simply just to look, we can see what it looks like. And this is playing back at 30 frames a second, and this is really slow. It's going to be a boring video to watch. So we're just going to pause it. And if we go over here to video controls in the right bar here inside of GoPro Studio, under speed, I'm going to just click on here. And so it's playing at 100%. I'm just going to click it, add 5, change it from 100% to 500%. So we'll increase the speed by 5 times. And so instead of playing back at 30 frames a second, it's going to be playing back at 150 frames a second. So now let's we'll just play it and see how it plays now. So you can see there's a lot of action. You can check here and see where the water's coming in, and so there's a lot of activity. What I want to do with this though is so that when someone watches the video, they can really see the what's happening. I'm going to just click and drag it in again, so it's a second instance of the same clip, and I'm going to play it back at 5 times or 500%, but instead this time I'm going to play it in reverse. So just by clicking that, so we're going to just watch it through. So you can see that it's a lot of activity. It's playing through well, and then once it goes through, so it's 16 seconds for the first clip, and then when it goes to the second clip, you can see what happens. Okay, so then it goes in reverse, and then it's the exact same clip, and then you can watch the water reverse and drain out of the basin. Okay, so that's good. I'm happy with that. I'm going to add a third instance of it and play it back at 200%. So not quite as slow as I originally thought I would play it back. This is going to be playing back at 60 frames a second. And so this still, the video, it's actually playing 3 instances. One at 5 times the speed normal, one at 5 times the speed reverse, and then one at 2 times the speed normal. So it's still only 1 minute 13 seconds time. So one thing I noticed with this is that the lighting is kind of all pastel, and it's not hard to see, or not hard to, rather it's not easy to see the detail. So over here under presets, Protune is one that really, sometimes it works, especially works well in bright sunlight conditions. So just by clicking it, you can see right away that it adds definition, adds some black, and so you have to add the same to each of the instances. So if we just come back to each of the clips rather, so now you can see you can see the reflection better, the shadows, so it really makes a much more dramatic video. Good. So one other thing we're going to add is an audio clip, and I chose one that I'm just going to put in there. So basically you navigate, choose the audio clip. This one's from iStock, and then again just click and drag and drop it in, and then you can hit play and have a look. Okay, so just one final step. I am going to add a watermark in the bottom corner for the video, but just to show you here, to export, so you just go to the top from step 2 of editing, step 3 export, and so you hit export, and you can just choose, if it's for YouTube, you can simply choose that YouTube preset and hit export, and it's as simple as that. It takes a couple of minutes and you can upload it directly to YouTube. So that's it. That's how to create a time-lapse of a tide with a GoPro Hero camera. Now just to finish the video, I'm going to just play the full video through. I hope you enjoy.